All right, of course, before we delve into the transfer market, let's tell you that Eric Shell has officially unveiled a squad list for the Super Eagles B team ahead of the 8th African Nations Championship, with the players departing for Zanzibar to kick off final preparations. The squad features a balanced blend of experience and emerging talents across all departments. Goalkeepers Henry Ozemina, Lawal Mustafa will be guarding the post, while defense, of course, will include Sadiq Ismaila, Bankole Hafiz, Taiwo Abdul Rafiu, and others who have shown consistent form in domestic competitions. The midfield will be marshaled by players like Adebayo Olamileko, Akone Kudus, and Michael Tochukwu, individuals known for, of course, their creativity. And Jaba Malik, Shukuru Alimi are expected to lead the attack with precision and power. The team's departure to Zanzibar marks the beginning of their final campaign phase before the tournament begins. Nigeria will be looking to go one step further than their 2018 campaign, where they finished as runners-up. Okay, it's time to get into the transfer market now. Let's begin with the, of course, the good news for Arsenal fans, and that is that Arsenal have reached total agreement to sign Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyokeres. And of course, you know full well that he's a young man who's been on the radars for Arsenal for a while now. There have been some back and forth, between Arsenal and Lisbon. As a matter of fact, sometime last week, the father, of course, almost shed in tears because the deal was almost going to fall through. But, luckily now, as of this morning, the story is that Arsenal have reached full agreement with Lisbon. And as a matter of fact, he's likely to be in London this weekend for medicals. Well, at this point, let me bring in Jide Olugbodi, former Brentford player, a man who understands English football and, of course, the transfer market as well, to talk to us about some of these, deals. Well, Jide, very pleased to have you with us this evening.
Well, it's a pleasure to be on your show, Ike.
Well, it's good news for Arsenal fans around the world at the moment. Arsenal have reached full agreement with Lisbon to bring this young man to the Emirates. What does Gyokeres bring to the Arsenal team?
Well, first of all, it brings goals. That's the thing. I mean, or the promise of goals. For every great vision, every great project, it's always in the future. It's always a hope. We've seen a lot of strikers come to the Premiership and fail to get to grips with the Premiership. I mean, the Premiership is tough, but Arsenal for last season, I think they're doing better by getting him in. They have a very good squad. He's building on the squad. He's brought in. I'm surprised he's buying defenders and midfielders, central defenders, though. But, well, he knows what he's doing. He's bringing him in, and I think he's promising goals. He's been scoring goals. He's young. He's adaptable. Players like that are coachable. You can see him, his movements, he's fluid around the box as well. So I think they're getting goals. But the value of what he brings will be determined by how quick he settles down into the Premiership, and I think that's where the leaders in the squad come into place to settle him down. It's tough coming to the Premiership because he's going to be on the spot. You're going to see a lot of media people, a lot of pundits. They'll be analyzing his game like they've never done before in Lisbon. So I wish him the best of luck, and I wish Arsenal the best of luck as well.
Well, he's a young man who's got this sort of Cristiano Ronaldo physique, looking very fit for the Premier League side. And you expressed some worry, which is that some players take time to settle into the Premier League. But we remember when they played Manchester City, we saw what he did against City. And of course, there's a sense in which that should give Arsenal fans some hope that it will not be long before he settles very quickly.
Yeah, I understand that. And but being a player myself, there's a difference between preseason friendlies and games before the championship begins, because there are different stages in preparation and stuff like that. So, but when the lights come on and the pressure comes weeks before the Premiership starts, there's going to be a lot of talk about him. Pundits are going to analyze him. They're going to ask him to prove himself. So he's going to be under a lot of pressure. And Arsenal don't have the time. He's a young player coming into a good squad as well, but he doesn't have so much time. I just hope he settles down with a goal early. Then it can be easy for him. But he's going to have tough opposition in the Premier League, I must tell you. But he's very good. He looks fit, like you said, and it looks like he's ready for this challenge as well. So, yes, so Arsenal fans, I'm sure they're saying again, as they do at the beginning of every season, we're going to win the league.
well, well, Jide, let's not get into the mechanics of that now. But, well, here is another young man, Luke Shaw, who is set to quit Manchester United. He has told the United setting that of course he's ready to leave at the moment after spending 11 years at Old Trafford, understanding the full well that it may be difficult for him to get game time as the new season begins.
Oh yes, Luke Shaw has been a wonderful servant at Old Trafford. He's put himself on the line, especially after the terrible injury he had years ago. I think it takes a lot of guts for him to come back. Well, he's probably been told by the manager he's probably not in his plans, because if you look at the way Amorim has been playing, he's playing five at the back. Sometimes he goes to three in the middle, plays four across the middle. So you never really know what you're going to get. And whatever way he decides to play is going to demand a lot of pressure and a lot of intensity on the wings as well, as you've seen. So Luke has probably thought, you know what, it's not going well. The team is actually on a decline. Well, I might as well just jump ship now, go and rebuild my career elsewhere. I mean, it takes a lot of stick for the team. He's one of the oldest players. So when the pressure gets too much, it affects his performance as well, because he's got to be a coach on the pitch when he plays, even on the bench, because the players look to him for guidance. So I do understand him saying he wants to leave. I hope he's found, better, pastures elsewhere. Maybe America will call him, MLS, or even Saudi, who knows? So for this stage of his career, I think it's a good thing for him to bow out now, and yeah, we wish him all the best.
Well, as you said, Jide, we wish him all the best wherever he ends up. Let's also look at a story that took all of us by storm. Alexander Isak saying he wants to quit Newcastle United. Nobody expected that he would say that at the moment, even though there had been interest from Liverpool, a very strong interest from Liverpool. But Liverpool said they would only go ahead if they would get of course a green light from Newcastle United. But the green light has come from the young man himself.
Yes, absolutely. That's the way it works in the football world. They're not allowed to tap into the player. Somebody speaks to someone behind on a coffee table, stuff agreed, and then the player goes, he knows that there's serious interest, probably spoken to someone up there. And then they ask the player to ask for a move. That's how it happens. And once the player asks for a move, then a club can come in and put an offer on the table. And I think for Isak, he's looking like he's looking at his career. He's done very well in Newcastle. And I think Newcastle want to build the team around him, because he's got 3 years left on his contract. But the boy's seen the bright lights. Champions League football with Liverpool is different from football with Newcastle. And he's got the crowd. He's going to take his career forward, to be honest, if he goes to Liverpool. And Liverpool at this point, they're begging for a finisher, a striker, someone who's going to go in there and take a pressure off Salah and Diaz and the likes of it. So I think for him, and for Newcastle, well, the show goes on. They cash out on him now rather than have a player who doesn't want to stay in the dressing room, take the money and then invest in other players. I think it's going to be a win-win for everybody, if you ask me.
And Jide, well, before we came on air, You know, within the newsroom, of course, some Arsenal fans, you know, were worried that, look, if Liverpool haven't got Ike Tvc, haven't got, Florian Vase in the attack, now adding Isak again, it means Liverpool is going to be a killer team.
Oh, yes. I mean, look at the signings. They've gone about their business quietly. They've taken Florian Wirtz. Wirtz is one of the most respected players in German football, attacking wise. He goes forward, comes in the middle, pops in, scores goals. He's got a Kitike as well. Then Frimpong. Frimpong is kind of a better version, of the Wolves, Adama Traore, because I watched Frimpong a few years ago. He was running down the flanks, but the end products were not there. But I watched him last season. The end products are coming. You understand? Then they get Gyokeres as well, the Hungarian left back from Bournemouth. So he's building a team, and you can see that, they're not going to sleep with the league of last year. So yes, they're going, and I think they're going to still do more, if you ask me, from what I've been told. So yes, Liverpool is turning to another killer team, but I'm sure that the race is just beginning. It's not over until they say so, Ike.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely spot on. Jide Olugbodi, former Brentford player, former Super Eagles player. Many thanks indeed, as always, sharing your thoughts with us.
You're welcome, Ike. It's been a pleasure.